Good evening, everyone. My name is Gulshan Memoria. I'm the CEO and founder of Inspiredvalley. Recently, we have started this initiative called Inspiredvalley School Initiative, where we invite the school leaders and the edtech founders on our platform to discuss on some of the major topics. So, our today's topic is how to cultivate a growth mindset in today's students and in staff. And to discuss on this topic, we have some esteemed panelists. The very first speaker we have is Miss Neha Mathur. She is the principal at Euro International School, Jodhpur. Next, we have is Miss Yerra Sreedevi. She is the principal at Summit School, Hyderabad. We also have Dr. Rashmi Sharma. She is the principal at Gautam Buddha Degree College, Lucknow. I welcome you all on our show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sridevi Miss, I want to ask you, to start this conversation, I'm sure, you are more familiar with this topic, how to cultivate a growth mindset in students and staff. In recent times, I've seen a lot of new developments are going on in educational world, right? And then and now there are a lot of new things are coming up. So it's very necessary to imbibe this growth mindset in every stakeholder's mindset, especially with the students and staff. So my question to you is, research has shown that students who have a growth mindset are more likely to persevere through challenges and achieve academic success. So can you discuss some of the specific examples of how a growth mindset can impact a student's achievement?
Very good evening to everyone. Nice question is given to me actually. See, specifically when we say growth mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
It occurs when we believe that our intelligence and abilities can be improved
Hmm.
with efforts and the right strategies. Especially, it is a willingness to comfort challenges, a passion for learning, and
Hmm.
viewing failure as a springboard for growth are all the characteristics associated with a growth mindset. So,
Wonderful.
especially here, we are trying to put up the challenges on the child, right? So, when we are speaking about like, how can we develop that growth mindset in the children? So, we come here like when students adopt these growth mindsets, they view challenges as way of progressing. So
Hmm.
we should first give them the challenges towards their desired outcomes, right?
Hmm.
Students who believe that they can develop their talents and abilities see roadblocks and critical feedback as methods to gather information they could use to help themselves down. So when we are giving them that opportunity, automatically they start growing. Their mindset starts growing. So
Exactly.
challenges should be given. See, it can be examples like struggling to master a skill, like with efforts and with practice, like they become mastering over those areas, right?
Wonderful.
Especially like for the children, small children, reading. It's a big task for the children, right? So when they start having a positivity, they start growing. Like they
Hmm.
keep on improving on reading skills.
Hmm.
Okay, so we should encourage them from the back behind. Next, especially writing neatly. That is
Hmm.
also a challenge for the kids. So we always tell the children to write neatly. It's always a challenge for them, and they start developing their mindset and start improving their skills, right? So another example is like riding a bicycle, right? Or
Hmm.
riding a bike. There are
Hmm.
also challenges. But see, you can see that children will be learning it very easily than the adults because they already have that growth mindset that I can do it, right?
Hmm.
Which especially the elders may not be having after a certain age. But these children, if we push them towards the positivity, automatically they will have a very good growth mindset. Uh, in the other way, we can say that we should always tell the children, I can improve my skills.
Hmm.
So that logic should be ingrained in the children actually.
Hmm.
So as the children, if they have ever struggled to master a skill first, so we should always try to understand from their perspective or from their point of view whether they are struggling. Okay, and then we have to give them time, and we have to make them more like perfect in their skills and giving them some tips.
Hmm.
It can also like see having a growth mindset is important when facing new challenges in life. So it happens every now and then in the life of the student, right? So it's we have to keep on motivating them and give them that chances to overcome them and to have a good idea about the life. They should not fall down or break down, right? So
Hmm.
once we are assisting them, it makes them very perfect and they build up their confidence. In the other way, see there, we have to tell them that your challenges are your opportunities.
Hmm.
You should make them feel that the challenges are the opportunities actually. So you never should say no for the challenges. You should struggle and put your leg in front actually, not backside, right? Next, reflect each day on what we have failed on. So never think about the failures. If you have,
Exactly.
that doesn't mean you have to lost stopped or you have to stop now, right? It's
Hmm.
only a stepping stone of success, right? So we
Exactly.
should train them and then we should make them to move ahead.
Hmm.
In the same way, stop seeking approval from others. We should never tell them to see ask others what exactly I have done, whether I have done correct or wrong. It's
Hmm.
you who have to decide, right? In the same way, exactly, we say in the school also compete with yourself, not with others, because we want the child to become an individual from the beginning itself, right?
Exactly. Yes.
In that way, what happens is its growth mind, like mindset, will be growing day by day, and identify the opportunities to celebrate the success of others. So when others are succeeding, we should make the children encourage them to also be along with those kids, not to be like having a negative impact on them actually. If they are not succeeding, but others are succeeding, so if they start enjoying the other's success, automatically the child is growing his mindset. So we train the children the same manner. It's today he, tomorrow it will be you. So that is the way the mindset has to be grown actually, right? So values are also imbibed when we are
There are many
trying
things
to
that you
maintain
have
all
pointed
these.
out. Amazingly amazing. I mean, this
Yeah.
Exactly,
reminds me this
exactly,
because you have
exactly.
opened an entirely new Pandora box altogether. When we are young, because when we go and discuss last week, I delivered a session on career guidance skills in Nevi Children's School, Goa, and there also we have discussed this thing in length. You know, when we are very young, I mean, this is just a point. When we are very young, those children who are in 6th standard, 8th standard, they do not, you can say, they do not.
Accept.
Okay, I cannot see you. Okay, fine. Now it's absolutely fine. They do not afraid to take any decisions. They always try to do new things. But when we grow old, we ask themselves, okay, it's done. Let's not try to plunge ourselves or do a lot of things in other areas, right? Neha ma'am, you would like to share your views?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, certainly. On after my question, let's hear Rashmi ma'am first.
Sure. Rashmi ma'am, you want to share your views on this thing, on this
Actually, I
question?
like,
Please.
yeah, yeah. I want to share what ma'am has said. So I like two things very importantly. First thing is that we should learn to share the success of others. And this I think is a very positive thing if we can inculcate in any way. Because this is creating a hurdle because we are so much having a competitive mind instead of growth mindset. Generally, our students, sometimes principal also prepare for competitive mindset that
Exactly.
you have to become the first, you have to get this. So that has to be changed, and I totally agree with ma'am that growth mindset is that we all grow together. It's not only I am growing. That's a growth mindset. So if you could create that kind of culture in school that we celebrate the success together of any one person, so that will be a very positive thing in that, I think. And that should be
So,
done from the very beginning. Like she
exactly.
told
So
me
it
that
has to be like we
small
need to.
challenges can be given to
Hmm.
like reading, writing. Two things I like. Second thing, initially what she said that small challenges prepare us for this, for reading
Hmm.
skill, writing skill, listening skill. But actually, our education is, especially literature part, is totally skill based. But we are not aware of that, and we are only focused on outcome. But it is
Exactly.
skill. All the skills should be developed. Then only we can have a great, you can say, personality in terms of our communication.
You have rightly pointed
Isn't
out,
it?
ma'am, that
If
we
we
are
have,
totally focusing on the outcome
ah,
based results. And not just us,
yes,
a lot
and
of
a
people, the
skill
majority of the population, they focus on the outcome, not just the process.
outcome.
Hmm.
Yes, the process is very important because that helps us in growth. That outcome doesn't help us in growth.
Exactly.
So that is, we have to
That's
take care of
wonderful.
this in every. Huh. Yes.
So
Yeah, Neha ma'am, over to you.
I feel that the outcome has to be set appropriately. Like as educators, we all decide before the beginning of any lesson or any task. We earlier it was learning objectives. Now the new term is learning outcomes, right? So the LOs have to be correctly set, right, according to the student level, and they are going to be progressive. Initially, the LOs are going to be of a low standard, and as the session progresses, as the students build on their skills along with the educator, gradually the level of the LOs will rise.
Hmm.
So the expectation has to be set right. The bare the base for a growth mindset is that we have to make the children understand that they have to be ready to face challenges and change.
Hmm.
Most important is that the spirit of being ready to accept challenges and to adapt, and go with the flow.
Hmm. Now, I would like to give you one more example. I mean, today, recently, we've also started one new initiative called the Inspired Valley podcast, Decoding Success. On this show, we invite the Indian entrepreneurs. Majorly, like we have started asking the Shark Tank Indian entrepreneurs, those who have got the deal from Shark Tank recently. So today, luckily, not just today, this was my 19th podcast, and the speaker was one of the youngest entrepreneur. Can you believe it? He started business at the age of 15, and he has not even completed the 12th standard. And right now he's focusing on imbibing all the 21st century skills and from first standard to 10th standard students. And can you believe his last month sales was around 1.45 cr?
Amazing.
He
And
was
his
born into
father, yeah,
abundance.
his father was his yeah, he got the deal also from Shark Tank Sharks. And his father was his angel investor. His father invested in his business in the starting of pandemic. So this reminds me of lot of areas like यार मतलब आज अगर पेरेंट्स से बात करें उनको बोले कि ट्वेल्थ के बाद में ये चीज़ करना है, वहाँ पर बहुत सारी क्वेश्चन मार्क्स होते हैं. अभी किसी ने ट्वेल्थ भी पास नहीं करी है और टेंथ में बोल रही है आई वांट टू स्टार्ट अ न्यू बिजनेस, आई वांट टू लीव दिस स्टडी ऑल टुगेदर. तो दिस मतलब कितना
That's the
दैट
growth
दिस
That's
mindset.
the
हैज़
growth
लॉट ऑफ
mindset.
That's the
यस,
growth mindset.
मतलब कितना ग्रोथ माइंडसेट है, कितना कन्विक्शन है, कितना पैशन
Absolutely,
है कि मुझे
absolutely.
क्लैरिटी पूरी
Correct.
बहुत ज़्यादा है. When I asked him कि
Gulshan,
यार
this is
you should have started,
entrepreneur.
yes, when I asked him कि यार you should have कि मतलब this one school of thought that you should complete your studies first. Another school of thought is regardless of your current education level, if you're passionate about something, you
Yes,
should
yes,
start
yes.
something. So what he said कि यार कि अभी जो current trend चल रहा है कि जो edtech founders हैं, those who are 30 years old or 40 years old, they might not be aware about all the challenges. At the age of 16, at the age of 17, I am aware about all the challenges. That's why I am more capable to solve this
Of
crisis.
designing, yes.
So he is not just giving me the answers based on some other research. He's going to, like, he was giving me all the answers related to the current growth trajectory which is going on, all the data based answers. Wonderful. Yes. Name, I want to ask you another question, which of yours. I'm sure this will give us more insight about this topic. So, some of the students may struggle with perfectionism, which is again a very hypothetical concept, which leads to a very fixed mindset and a fear of failure as well, right? In our life also, we sometimes face this thing. So, how can schools and educators help these students embrace a growth mindset and develop a healthier approach to make some mistakes and setbacks?
So, first, let's try to understand the term perfectionism. Perfectionism means that you set very high and almost impossible targets or standards for self. That is perfectionism, right? And fixed mindset is the baseline of perfectionism, in my view. As in, what is fixed mindset? Where you're being static, not just in your outlook, but static in your learning, and you are not ready to accept challenges,
Hmm.
and you're so used to success or achievement that in a perfectionist dictionary there is no word like no, and there is no word like failure. मतलब उनको success चाहिए ही. They
Exactly.
just want to succeed. Let's just take an example, since we're talking about school education and in the context of what educators can do. So when a student continuously performs well at school, and
Hmm.
he often becomes a victim of the fixed mindset, right? And he's got so used to winning that he fears challenges and failure. What if I fail? That is
Hmm.
the beginning of fear of failure. जब हमेशा success हो रहा है, then you get, I mean, there'll be thoughts that I cannot fail now that uh, I've been getting ranks, I'm a topper, I cannot fail. That is where it all starts in context of your education, right? So from this example we may understand that a fixed mindset is the one that keeps you from taking another challenges, as there is a fear of losing out, and
Exactly.
the child is conditioned to only rule, to be on the top. Now, well, what is wrong in that?
Hmm.
Isn't that a leadership quality? if you think in a way, this is where we're going wrong. This is where the problem begins, right?
Hmm.
A leader is the one a leader is the one who's innovative and who likes to accept challenges and lead the way forward and overcoming problems and hurdles on the way, right? So
What?
it is important to make mistakes because you're only
Exactly.
going to learn from mistakes. So number
Hmm.
one is we have to normalize mistakes.
Hmm.
If you see the example of Mr. Anupam Kher, he openly talks about the mistakes he make. Uh, Ankur Bariku, he's actually written one and now two books. In the
Hmm.
first book, Do Epic Shit, he's talking about all the failures that he made at different ages, at the age of 20, at the age of 30, at the age of 40.
Hmm.
Why? So that he can help people get rid of the fixed mindset and actually step into the growth mindset and normalize making mistakes. And what is even better is learning from others' mistakes.
Hmm.
So we need to accept the concept of mistakes and failure. And failure is a part of success. You have to fail in order to succeed ultimately.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that is what we have to build. And a winner is the one who will try all permutation and combination till his last breath, right? Not the one who's just accepting success and just wanting to top. You know,
I
a
totally got
winner
your
is
point. I
truly the
totally
one who is
resembled. Yes.
used to ups and downs in life, one who is a survivor.
Hmm.
So, as schools, we have to appreciate efforts, not the result. We have to praise children for every little effort and give priority to effort over achievement. That is what we call progress, right? So
That's.
expectations have to be set according to the capability of the learner, and the learners and the educators have to together decide what are going to be the learning outcome of the child, and definitely it will vary from child to child depending upon uh, various quotients, their IQ, their EQ, their HQ, their SQ, like their intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, happiness quotient, and social quotient. And now the most important question that we must teach at schools as parents is the AQ, the ability to face adversities. That is a very important part in order to inculcate the growth mindset in the learners. So as schools, we have to habituate the students to take up quizzes in each subject based on I mean, we have to increase the level of challenge that they feel. We need to gamify learning. We have to habituate the students to try to experiment, to challenge their own limits.
Exactly.
Each child has to compete with themselves. They have to become, ultimately the goal is to become a better version of yourself,
Exactly.
not compete with the peers, rather collaborate. That is the need of the hour. So
So
as schools, we have to bring about that culture and that mentality amongst the students.
wonderfully, wonderfully explained. Yeah, Dr. Rashmi, you want to add your point,
Um,
please?
Neha, you beautifully explained this thing. And I want to add in this that generally what we keep praising people who get top rank, and they are within our school. They think they are perfect, they are best, but within their school, as soon as they move out in their real life, they do not get the same thing over there, and they badly fail in coping with the adversity. So that is one thing I think that we should have this kind of culture in which people can go to the other schools, meet a lot more people from different schools. They can judge themselves better. We praise them so much and they found that they're totally a failure there. Like so many people are topping in their school but they fail in appearing
The real
IIT or that,
life.
and they get a real set. The real life disconnection is very bad in their case.
I can simply recall one example which I normally share in my career guidance workshops. You know, if you take any example of any examination, majorly after 12th examination called NEET or IIT or UPSC or any examination, the probability of getting into a seat in that reputed institution is somewhere around 1 by 150, right? So out of 150 or out of 200 students, only one person will get the seat. And this comes very lower if you talk about the premier institutions, which everybody brags about it. For an example, if you want to become a doctor, you have to get into the AIMS Delhi, right? Which is a premium institution. So only 7 AIMS are here. In 7 AIMS, only 700 seats are available. And last year, almost 18.5 lakh students gave the NEET examination. So if we take a rough example, at least out of 18 lakh students, I think 3 lakh students are more sincere students who would have thought of giving this exam in a very sincere manner, but still only 40,000 seats are available and everybody want to get into the aims. So we know that all the people will get failed, almost like this 99% people will get failed or 90% people will get failed. So what about those process? So if you will not talk about the growth mindset or the fixed mindset that you have to go, there are other areas also. So you need to look beyond the
Exactly.
failure, you need to accept it anyhow that you will fail, not just in 12th, sometimes after graduation, in graduation, or in life also. But how you get up after getting the failure, after have seen the failure, that what makes a difference. Yera ma'am, you want to add your point? Thank you for patiently listening me, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gulshan, I want to add one point.
please, please, please.
Very aptly you said about this IIT examinations, then NEET examinations. Yeah, see, when we come to parents nowadays, when we counsel the parents also, parents have higher expectations. The children are of not that level actually, but the parents have very high expectations. We start counseling the parents to understand the child first,
Exactly.
because it's a burden on the child, and then the child automatically like droops down. Frankly speaking, many children are like victims of their own parents, because they have their own problems along with them. Actually, they cannot share with them. So we help out these children and the parents. We counsel them and try to tell them, look at your child and check his interests first. It's not always that always we should have engineers and doctors. There are many other streams, right? Right now in 21st century, we have many different areas where the children can progress and they
We
can
call
also
it
earn.
unconventional career options. Yes.
Yes, millions of millions, or like he can also earn more than a doctor or an or as an engineer also, right? So we are trying to focus their attention to that level actually, so that the children also will have their growth mindset. And very aptly, Neha ma'am has said about the points, which was really wonderful, ma'am. Adding to those points, as you said, yes, imperfection. First, they should be perfected, right? So we should teach the children about embracing the imperfection. That means they should, as she told very aptly, that mistakes, right? So they should not be seen as a very like a big high mountains. It's only a pebbles which are there on our way. We have to just cross them, right? Another thing is, always we should reframe challenges as opportunities. That's a very good thing what even ma'am has said about it, that we should always give them that opportunities as a challenges. As in when these challenges are coming, these should be seen as an opportunities, not like a barriers. Okay. The other thing is, we need to give them time for self evaluation. First thing, first to provide the children about the self evaluation, what exactly you are, whether you have improved from one level to other level, that we should give that gap to them and space to them for understanding.
It's wonderful. Yeah, Miss Neha, you want to add your point, please?
So we were talking about parents, and we just mentioned that how parents have high expectations. Perfectionism, fixed mindset, and fear of failure. These are almost like genetic disorders, and they run in families. Do you know that? Children of perfectionists are born to imbibe that perfectionism. Children of people who have fixed mindset have only seen fixed mindset, so how will they grow? Somebody needs to model that, right? They have to have people around who have growth mindset. They need to know the difference between, or maybe they have to see two people who have different mindset and who's winning in life, who's happy. So as adults, as educators, as parents, as
Society as a whole, I would
as
rather say,
society,
yes.
yes, as responsible citizens, it is our job to be modeling growth mindset, so that children who are looking up to us, they see that instead of just bragging about our achievements, that instead of parents saying that hum jab aapki umar ke the hum ye karte the, instead of that, talk about your struggles, talk about the setbacks that you face in life and how you overcome them. What was the skill that helped you quickly recover from that setback? What did you do to learn? How you have to unlearn sometimes, relearn sometimes? That we need to model in our own behavior, in the way we talk, in the way we conduct ourselves, because They are young adults. The future of the nation is looking up to us. So we need to model the growth mindset in our day to day life. It is not just only in talk shows like this or in a class when you're walking in a class. No, it is. It has to be reflected in and outside the classroom for a proper implementation of growth mindset in the
No,
youth.
wonderfully explained. If even this reminds me of yesterday's example, Dr. John Matthew was the speaker in yesterday's session. What he said, when we think or when we see things which are happening around us, we see things in a different perspective, right? My age is 35, your age might be 38 or 40, 42. So your perspective will definitely be different, and you cannot match that perspective with the student's perspective, because it cannot be possible. So how can, what has happened in your life, how can you correlate or how can you give examples, because you do not know what is happening right now and what will happen after 5 years, even you're not sure. So how can you teach those things which are not been evolved yet, right? So you need to work upon yourself to that extent so that you can understand a bit. Still you will not able to match with the current level, because the
Certainly.
change which has happened in the recent past, even 15 years before, the change was constant. I mean, understand this, just a very small concept. 15 years before, 20 years before, the change was constant, means the change was happening with some pace, so we
The
were aware
pace
about,
was
okay, yes, the
much
pace
slower.
was much slower. Currently nowadays the change is happening in a much rapid pace. Like we are not sure that how much change is happening right now. What will happen tomorrow, we are not sure. Recently the NCF system has come up, right? Now they have proposed to abolish the entire stream selection system, the science. Any person can take any subject out of the 16 options. Yesterday, even today, they have proposed this system on their website. So what will happen in the next 5 years, we don't know. So a lot of change is happening, and that's how we are going to discuss about this concept. Please, Dr. Rashmi, you want to
Actually,
add your point?
two things I would like to share.
Please.
Firstly, I was just extending the ma'am's idea. Actually, I want to see the big picture. The big picture of our society is that the formula of success is fixed. That if you have good salary, big house, big car, then only you are successful, isn't it? This is in the minds of parents,
हाँ,
Right.
and that's
ये
why they
चीज़
want to
है,
get through.
ये
This is
चीज़ है.
there. It is not going to change very soon,
It will
but
not,
it
it
will
will not,
change. But
नहीं
it will
नहीं हो
change
पाएगा.
very soon. So that's why parents are forcing their children to get that, and unless children go there, parents are not satisfied because they see it as their own status. The status of children is considered as their own status. If my child is working in a lower job or in the same city and getting normal salary, so I feel bad because we
See,
start
nobody is
comparing.
talking about the work life balance. किसी को ये नहीं पढ़ा है कि
Yes,
हाँ,
yes,
कि मैं
exactly,
कितना हैप्पीनेस,
exactly,
जो हैप्पीनेस क्वोशंट की बात करते हैं, हम
exactly.
बहुत अच्छे से बात तो करते हैं कि भूटान
So
इज़
it
द
has.
नंबर वन कंट्री इन हैप्पीनेस क्वोशंट. अगर हम गोवा के लोगों की बात करें, हार्डली वेरी फ्यू पीपल, बिकॉज वी हैव
Exactly,
डन सम
exactly,
रिसर्च, हार्डली वेरी फ्यू पीपल दे अप्लाई फॉर UPSC एग्जाम और द गवर्नमेंट एग्जामिनेशंस,
exactly,
बिकॉज दे
exactly.
आर वेरी हैप्पी इन देयर ओन लाइफ. There are many people, especially from this UP branch, the UP side or the Bihar side, or from this section. Everybody is
They're
bragging
crazy.
about this government job, right?
Yeah, actually,
Regardless of
very
the work-life
crazy
balance.
about.
Yes.
I told you it runs in family.
हाँ.
What you see around is what will come around you and what is nailed in your head. So it's very deep rooted by now, and it's the need of the hour that we instill the
We
growth
need to
mindset.
change
If we
that.
really
Exactly.
want to change the status of our country from developing to developed,
Yes,
the one
yes.
change is the growth
Growth
mindset.
mindset.
It's wonderful,
We have to
wonderful.
come out of that box. Then only we can do something. Yeah, I give you the example of my own student. We have very professional courses, BEd, MEd, BCom. But all the children are more interested in preparing for SSC. They are free, but they don't come to the college. But they say they have joined a coaching. Even BEd students, they are doing a teacher's training course. They are more interested in SSC. I say, what is this? So their BEd is their backup plan. Their main target is that SSC. So
एंड दे आर
I just
नॉट
tell
अवेयर, दे
them,
आर नॉट अवेयर. आई मीन अंदर
aware
की
of the
बात अगर ये चीज़ है,
competition.
अंदर की बात तो ये है कि अगले 10 सालों के अंदर, 15 सालों के अंदर, आउट ऑफ 100 गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स, ओनली 40 गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स विल बी देयर, 60 विल बी गॉन.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
this is the reality, this is the hardcore reality. But again, everybody is focusing on having कि यार एक फिक्स
The
माइंडसेट से
rat
चलते हैं,
race.
ये चीज़, हाँ,
Because they are living
एटलीस्ट
in a
यस.
fixed mindset, they don't have the growth mindset. I just keep telling them that you come in the private sector, you develop your skills, and you can get better salary than that SSC and all government jobs. but they are, it's very tough job for me.
So,
Rizwan.
as educators, what we can do, as and when possible, we can give them constructive feedback
Hmm. But do you think, I
so
mean,
that
just I'm talking about in a very broader perspective, do you think that it is now, I mean, it is acceptable in a very larger front? Because when you discuss these ideas with the parents, Upper say they will accept, but from inside they will not accept. I mean, to some extent, because I have personally been to a number of institutions, especially with the career guidance workshop. We give free of cost the parents orientation workshop. So in parents orientation workshop, when we talk about almost 200 career options, right? Still, out of 100 parents, 90 parents will only talk about the science or the commerce, CA, or the engineering or the medical. That's it. They even don't want to get into the other stream or the other areas.
so when we talk about a group counseling or a group orientation, वहाँ तो ठीक है, you'll be talking and they'll be listening. I have
Yes.
sat with parents, and my requirement was very specific that it has to be a one-to-one career guide.
Hmm.
I mean, it has to be a session where we together walk through all the options. So I the requirement was the both the parents, father, mother, and the child have to be there. And if there is any other major decision maker in the child's career, let's say grandfather, grandmother, then they should also be a part of the session. And then we ask the child to
That is
fill a
important.
think sheet where what the child thinks and what is the mindset of the child, why the child and what is the plan B. I made them write, and then we sat across tables, and shocking revelations for me, because I was doing it for the first time one to one. As in, we've done group sessions as educators. We've come across numerous sessions where we collaborate with people. They come to our place and they give their talks. But then when I sat one to one, there were shocking revelations where the mother wants something, the father wants something, the grandfather's forcing something,
Exactly. You're absolutely
the
right.
child wants something, and the parents have a fixed mindset that कर लो, हम कह रहे हैं कि let them try, they can soar high up. Why are you limiting them with your thoughts?
Hmm.
The child has more capabilities. Set them free. Guarantee they'll come back to you with more accolades, better achievement, better happiness. For you, the
Hmm.
child's happiness is important, but parents were just not ready to understand. This is what
Parents are more
my
like,
experience was,
हाँ
that
उनका
they
experience,
have
हाँ,
said some things as if they're ingrained in their heads. वो unlearn कराना इतना आसान नहीं होता है, and it will
because
take a
of their
lot of
experience.
people.
Yeah, I think because of their experience they have seen the hardship in their life and what they believe. Okay, once you finish this thing, after that you do your own things, but at least for us, first finish this thing. After that आप जो भी चीज़ करें, you can do that.
बट वो समय निकल जाता है, गुलशन जी, वो टाइम निकल जाता है, उस
That.
बच्चे का पैशन मर जाएगा जब तक वो
Hmm.
इनके सब। ये तो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, ग्रोथ फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट वाले पेरेंट्स की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या है? दे वांट देयर चिल्ड्रन टू फुलफिल देयर अनफुलफिल्ड ड्रीम्स.
Yes, exactly.
सो दैट इज वेयर द
It's a
प्रॉब्लम
different
स्टार्ट्स.
code
मुझे
altogether.
एक्ट्रेस
We
बनना
don't
था.
want to string that.
I mean, that is where the growth mindset, what our country is facing, the baseline is that I
It
wanted to be a
happens.
dancer. I wasn't
It
allowed. So
happens.
now I'm taking my daughter every day to a dance class. आपको कथक करना है, आपको भरतनाट्यम करना है, because I could not do. बच्ची से तो पूछ लो. She does not like dancing, or maybe even if she likes, she wants hip hop. क्यों भरतनाट्यम ले जा रहे हो? That
It
is how it
happens.
is.
It happens. It happens. To a larger extent, it happens. Yeah, Dr. Rashmi, you want to add your point, please?
I want to add this point. How can we get a solution
Hmm.
in from the school level? So I think in school level, when we are there, even the teachers, the principal, they all are running after the board results. Board results. Study,
Hmm.
study. No leave. Come on the vacations. No vacation for 9th, 12th, 10th, and 12th. So I think at that time, if student will be given opportunity to know their passion, if there are
Hmm.
different clubs will be made. So student will get an ample opportunity to find out actually what his passion is. So that opportunity is missing in school life till class 12.
Hmm.
After class 12, there is so much of pressure to do this and that. So they are totally confused. So in a hurry, you can say they take a decision given by the society, what is accepted by society or the parents. So they never get an opportunity to find their passion. And it is
Hmm.
to do. But BTech is certain they have to do. Most of the parents, especially in UP. So
Hmm.
that 4 year that ma'am has said just now, that 4 years totally wasted. And after that, when you find your passion, it is difficult to survive with that passion.
Hmm.
And there's again a chaos that you are not happy with the job and you can't take the passion and you are totally in a As
Abhi,
you
to
said, yes.
currently nowadays, I mean, if you know a certain skill, even just to give you one example, there are many institutions, there are many private institutions out there. If you want to become a software engineer, I'm not talking about the engineering in the engineering sense. If you want to learn a particular skill, they will not take a single amount from you. They will take a small test. For an example, Newton school is there. So in that school, if you like something, if you like the Python language, so in the Python language you have to give one entrance exam, small entrance exam. They'll take one interview even after 12th. There's no basic requirement for this, and they'll train you for next 6 months. Is going to be income sharing agreement. So they will tell you, okay, with this, after doing this course, definitely we will get you 8 lakh rupees package. And once you get the package, you have to give us at least 10% of your salary for the next 1 year. How beautiful is this? So now you're not going to spend the entire money of your father or
4 years.
yes,
Yes.
is exactly. If you like something, and even there are many companies, those who do not look for the degree education. No. So degree is a thing of the past, but people have not started accepting this
Exactly.
thing. अभी ये चीज़
Yes.
हो रहा है इन दिल्ली, इन दी दिल्ली एनसीआर और द बैंगलोर रीजन. People have simply rejected the degree education, most of the students, because they think that ये तो outdated है, education तो prove ही नहीं हुआ. जो change जिस तरीके से चीज़ें हो रही हैं उस तरीके से ये pace accept नहीं कर रहे हैं, ये अभी भी उसी rote learning method में फंसे हुए हैं. So there are a lot of things which are happening. So we should start
That is
accepting.
also growth mindset.
Yes,
That's a
yes, yes.
growth
We
mindset.
should always, for an example, as in a school principal, you should always invite these people in your schools, because they have to say, the
Exactly.
students have to see them as a role model कि यार वो चीज़ क्या कर रहे हैं, because आगे जाके competition तो है ही. Wonderful. Yes. Dr. Rashmi, I want to ask you your question. So this is a very interesting
Yeah.
question which we have prepared for you. So in addition to the academic achievements, right, a growth mindset can also impact the other areas of a student life, such as their relationship and their career goals. So how can school and educators help the students to develop a growth mindset that extend beyond the classroom?
Exactly. If I'll tell you from my point of view,
Yeah,
so
please.
growth mindset, what I see is not as what has been defined and are told by the people. That growth mindset is getting yourself in discipline. This is my way of thinking. कि growth mindset starts with a discipline, and this should start in the school time only. When you're disciplined, half of the battle is won. This is my opinion. So if you're disciplined, if you have the habit of punctuality, getting early in the morning, and keeping everything on track, like if you have a routine, if you follow a routine, if you make a plan that this is how my day is going to be spent, this is how my course is to be prepared in the run. In a long run, it will make you successful. So school के बाद भी ये it will be imbibed by your own personality, and this will be reflected in everywhere you go.
Exactly. So
So
the
there should
routine
be
part is very
uh,
important.
routine part and your fitness part, routine part, and punctuality, and it helps us keeping away from procrastination. Because that is the problem in most of the cases. हम कुछ भी चीज़ पोस्टपोन करते जाते हैं. हम कैसे पढ़ाई करते हैं? In the exam time हमारा क्या हालत होती है? Isn't it? So I
Exactly.
give the example of my Nana ji. He was so मतलब so pre-prepared for the exam that before the day of the exam he used to go to movie. Can you believe this? That in his time he was studying in BHU, so that kind of mindset we need to require. That
Eh,
exam should not be taken as a pressure. Anything should not be taken as a pressure. Enjoy in एक ये है कि हम enjoy भी करें चीज़ों को, अपना curriculum enjoy करें, everything class में, ये नहीं कि we just going there to get a degree. So starting from that routine, it will come into our habit, and then growth mindset में एक और चीज़ बहुत important ingredient है according to me is
Please.
that no pain no gain. You have to go out of your comfort zone. Those who are successful entrepreneurs, they have this thing in common that they never went in their comfort zone. And if you make the student learn this, then sky is the limit for them. They can go anywhere. और जितने भी entrepreneur हैं, they are working on this only. This is after reading so many motivational books, you can say I came to this conclusion, and that's why I have an own point of view. That growth mindset starts with yourself. How much you are prepared for growth, how much you physically prepared, how you are mentally prepared, and what are your goals you have set for yourself after 5 years, after 10 years, after 20, after 40. So this all comes in growth mindset. So you are the whole soul responsible for your own growth. You can't blame anyone, not the parents, not school system, not the society, because
Hmm.
you are the core of life.
That's wonderful.
And if you can make student learn this, it's a tough, but we have to
It's a
become
gradual
example
process, I
of
would
that.
rather say. It's a
It's a
continuous
gradual process.
process, yes.
It's
Because,
a country, and we
uh,
have to talk about this.
hmm,
And if we set a routine, so we'll do most of the job for the student, क्योंकि ये उनके part में आ जाएगा फिर,
hmm.
isn't it? So that school can do it very nicely.
It's wonderful. Yeah, Miss Sreedevi, you have raised your
Yeah,
hand, please.
ma'am was saying very accurately actually. Absolutely, it is true actually. And when she was telling about the discipline, that's what
Hmm.
we are trying to imbibe in the kids, right?
It's very
And
hard. I mean, to be very frank,
very
from the
hard,
student's
very hard.
perspective, let
And
me take the
one thing
student's
I can,
part. It's very
yeah,
hard to create a discipline into the student's life because we've also come through from that age, right? So,
yes,
वहाँ पर
Especially
वो
for this Gen Z, it's
No,
what
it's
we
not
have
hard.
faced. The times were different. If you
Uh,
children,
cannot
exactly.
compare with
no, no,
us,
it's not hard. It's not hard. If they see everyone doing this, then it's not hard. If they see
Hmm.
only they are doing this, others are enjoying, then it's
Hmm.
hard.
Hmm.
If the
Hmm. Hmm.
so
teacher,
that's
if the
what we
peon,
have to
when
be role
everyone is there.
models. We have
Hmm.
to model that.
Exactly, exactly.
Because
As a
now
teacher,
though
we
this
have to be the role
attention
model.
span has gone drastically down, man. At our times there were very few
Exactly,
things to reduce our attention. Like, I cleared my
Fewer
12th around
distractions, I would
2004
say.
years. Very few things were there to reduce our this attention. There was no mobile phones hardly. Then mobile phones got introduced in 2002, right? So we still have this Nokia 3300 phone was there. So all the smartphones got introduced after 2006.
Snake was all you had
Yes,
on the phone.
you see, if teachers, as a parent, what I see, if I myself using all the time phone, how can I ask my child not to use?
exactly.
So I have to put
This is another
myself
school
on.
of thought. Like, you cannot tell someone if you're
Exactly, I
not
can't.
doing this
Yeah,
thing. Yes.
nah,
You cannot just preach.
Hmm. You cannot
it's
preach,
useless.
of course, if you're
what
You
not
can't
exactly,
preach.
what
experiencing the.
exactly we can teach the kids at this moment is during the student life, hard work is accepted, and after the school student life, you have to do smart work,
Hmm.
where you will be
And
again
why
gaining.
not teach them smart work right as students?
See,
Yeah,
when we
as
are
a student
teaching them,
also, they can do
They're
smart
yes,
already
work. Why
doing the
not?
smart work. We
they will
want
be
the
doing
hard
the
work, they're doing
smart
the
work,
smart work.
but
They are
first
doing
we have
smart
to
work.
learn what is exactly hard work, right? Immediately, if they are jumping into the smart work, they might not be understanding the things from the root levels,
Hmm.
right? So first teach them about the task to be taken, as she said very aptly, that no pain, no gain, right? So compulsorily we have to imbibe
Truth.
that in the students,
That's the
right?
truth. That's the truth. You
Yes,
ask
yes,
anyone, those who
yeah.
are
So
successful
wonderful.
Yeah,
now,
yeah, no,
then you
that's
see
true,
their
exactly.
story. You see their
Whatever you have said,
story.
it's clear actually, and it is absolutely correct that no pain, no gain. Until unless आप थोड़ा सा
See,
दर्द भी नहीं लोगे तो आपको कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है.
see,
सही है
I
ना?
have why I have accepted this to come in your show.
Hmm.
See, I
Yeah.
have to do
Exactly.
some
Yes.
extra
This
work,
is the best example. The
isn't
out
it?
of
I
like
could also
out of
sit and relax.
yes.
Why should I do this? I've just come from the college. You won't believe. I just came 5 minutes before. I didn't even
This
change
is
because I
no,
had dot to dot.
this is exactly what is growth mindset. Growth mindset too. Again,
Exactly,
yes,
exactly.
This is why we were
to bring
chosen.
about new learnings in ourselves.
Chale, let's
Because
move on to the
because we want
last
to
section.
learn.
Yeah.
Because we
Let's
want to
move
learn.
on to our
That's why
last
we come.
section of our webinar. So we call it rapid fire round, right? So in this rapid fire round, in today's topic is how to create this growth mindset. So I want two suggestions from your side, right? So how to inculcate this growth mindset in anybody's life, especially the student's life. So I'll give you 30 seconds to think about it, and I want you to focus on those points which have been not been can say discussed in this webinar till now. So I need two suggestions from your side. What you think, according to you, if they will do this thing, it will create a growth mindset in their life. Fine. So one by one, I'll come back to all of you. One by starting with Miss Neha, then Dr. Rashmi, then Dr. This Miss Sreedevi, right? So I want these two suggestions. I don't want to explain you in length. Just give me two suggestions. That's it. Fine. Shall I start now? Yeah, Miss Neha.
So, growth mindset, the baseline for growth mindset is that you should know, you should be ready to accept challenges, and for that we need to teach coping mechanisms. So as now all the schools have school counselors, full time counselors, so we need to take their help in developing the growth mindset, and we need to give the right resources to the students in order to manage their stress, in order to cope up with the setbacks that they're facing in their daily lives. So peer mentorship, like CPSC's recently launched the adolescent peer educator program, so we need to have peer mentorship. We should have study skill workshops for the children so that student can cope up with the anxiety and the high standards set by the society. So
Wonderful.
resources, support, and counseling services, and one of course is our support, acceptance, that
Acceptance
even if
from,
you
okay.
fail, we are there to support. If you fall, there'll be somebody to help you to stand and you have to run again.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Rashmi, over to you. Two things from
Yeah,
your
I
side.
have I have two things that we can adopt two methods of teaching in a school that can help us in growth mindset. First, we
Hmm.
can have a problem solving approach and problem solving method because that
Hmm.
will also prepare us for life. Wherever we get stuck, we have the solution with us because we have been practicing in school time.
Hmm.
It is possible in most of the subjects.
Hmm.
And second, role playing. Role playing is a method of teaching, especially social sciences, because mainly challenges are coming from the society, not
Hmm.
from their career goals. Because
Hmm.
in the career, there are people who are creating problem there. So how to handle people over there? We need to have role playing sessions. It's not nobody is unhappy with the job because they are not happy with the people over
The
there. You
people
have
around.
noticed this
Yes.
people, so we have to have better understanding of people, how to have adjustment with them. So role playing method in school time can also help them in getting their own place and then seeing the things. Role playing is we go to that place and see
So
from
the
their
experience,
perspective.
the first hand experience will
Ah,
they'll get.
first hand experience, and this will prepare us for life. Education is not simple, it is a preparation for life, it is a life itself. So those methods should be adopted right from the beginning.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Dr.
That can
Rashmi.
have
Yeah.
a
Ms. Sreedevi, your points?
Yeah, yeah. According to me, I will say that the continuous efforts for self development
Hmm.
has to be initiated in the beginning itself for the kids, and that should be imbibed in them, which will also be a technique for them to have that growth mindset.
Hmm.
The other thing, what I will say is promote participation. Let
Hmm.
them participate in variety of activities.
Hmm.
So once the child is into the participation, automatically he will start having that growth mindset, and he shouldn't stop himself like he or she. So we should encourage students to first participate,
Hmm.
then we will come to know like which is a barrier, which is what are the hindrances coming forward in accepting those things. So when the child is being promoted for participations, he will be also understanding where he is lacking. So in that way he will also change, and the growth mindset will automatically take
Take
place.
place.
very
And the
nice.
last and third, for the most important thing, what I feel is be patient with the learning process. Don't be in a hurry to teach the kid or to take the things or assume the things in the way you are thinking.
Hmm.
Give that pace to the child. He needs some time. It's not you who is doing the task, it's the child who is doing the task. So
Hmm.
think to that level. You bring down yourself to that level that हाँ इतना समय लगेगा बच्चे के लिए, ये आप नहीं कर रहे हो, राइट? बच्चा कर रहा है तो बच्चे को उतना समय दीजिए. ये
Hmm.
मत सोचिए कि आप जितने समय में कर लोगे उसी समय में बच्चा भी कर लेगा.
Hmm.
नहीं है ना? तो आपको वो समय उनको देना पड़ेगा.
So there's
So
a
you
lot
have
to be
to,
done at the teacher's part as well, I
yes,
believe.
we should be patient. So as a leaders, I always teach my teachers also, be patient. Have
Hmm.
patience with the kids. Don't like come to conclusions about a child, because that is again a wrong thing. The
Hmm.
child may have potential, but you are not finding in him because you are not giving a chance to him, right?
Teachers have their own issues. The teacher one,
Yes,
some of the
yes.
teachers said, "Sir, after teaching in this school, I've become patient."
Not at all, not at all. See, every now and then we have counseling sessions for teachers as well,
Hmm.
because we also try to train them. The growth mindset is also required for teachers as well.
Exactly. This is continuous development programs are going on.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
everyone for sharing your wonderful thoughts. I'll give you next 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I'll give you time to share your closing thoughts on this topic. Anything that you want to share. This is an open platform. Anyone can start the discussion. Not the discussion, but sharing your closing thoughts. Yes. Over to you, Miss Neha.
So, in the end, I would just like to conclude this, that as educators, as a part of the society, as responsible citizens, we need to we need to model the growth mindset. Also, the power of words. We have to talk the growth mindset language, the power of yet and but, right? Let's say if the child or the young ones should never feel that I cannot do this. Their words should be, I can't do this yet, but I can try. I can work on it, or I am working on it. So the growth mindset language, the power of yet and but, that we need to teach.
Wonderful. This reminds me of one of the posters which I have in my room also. This is one of the from the movie called Dead Poet Society. I'm sure that some of you must have watched this movie. So the quote is like, no matter what others tell you, no matter what others tell you, words and ideas can change the world. And I like this quote very much. So you have to believe in your words and your ideas, because no matter what it's telling you, because a lot of people they have changed the world on the basis of their ideas. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Rashmi, your closing thoughts.
Yeah. My closing thought is that our growth mindset should, but one thing had be very clear, that what is growth? Is it only in terms of money and success, or in terms of your own potential coming out in the best possible way? That
We
should be
should
kept
not
in mind.
compare ourselves with the other people.
Yes,
There
exactly.
might be many
Growth of yours
people.
might be different from mine.
Exactly,
Your
exactly.
growth is different. My growth is, we don't have to move in the same direction. Growth is different for everyone. So we have to always remember that two children are there, they can't go in the same job and then only they will be grow. They can grow in a different direction because they have different potentials. So this is the baseline that every individual is unique. This is the baseline of education.
Exactly, exactly.
So that's what I want to share.
It's
That
wonderful.
growth
Thank you.
should be terms in personal terms,
Yeah, Dr.
common
Shri,
terms.
yeah, Miss Sreedevi, please, your
Yeah,
closing thoughts.
nice session. Actually, I enjoyed all of the inputs what is given. New learnings I have learned also. From my perspective, the conclusion, like what I want to say is, children should be taught a different way, a perspective to think. Like in the sense, the word impossible. When you see that, I always teach in my class. Impossible. If you see in that same word you have, I am possible. Why don't you think in that way? So always think beyond what exactly is that meaning, and don't go with the traditional way of thoughts. It can be different. Be different and think differently. That itself is a growth mindset, right?
That's
So I
wonderful.
always teach my kids that always say I am possible. मैं कर सकता हूँ. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो मैं नहीं कर सकता.
अच्छा, इसी थॉट के साथ में लेट्स एंड दिस वेबिनार. थैंक यू एवरीवन, मिस नेहा, डॉक्टर रश्मि, मिस श्रीदेवी, फॉर शेयरिंग your wonderful views. I'm sure when we upload this webinar and all the listeners, all the educators, the principals and the students, when they will listen this webinar, they have a lot of things to cover upon, right? There are a lot of things to work upon, because the things which we have discussed, the ideas we have discussed, it holds much significance. I mean, if we implement some of the ideas in our life, it can create wonders. So again, from the entire team of Inspired Valley, I thank you everyone for taking time out from their hectic schedule and sharing your wonderful views. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so